Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer on what I like to call the sunshine superpower. I'm your host, Stickman. And yes, I am exactly what I sound like, a highly expressive, surprisingly confident black stick figure who just loves geeking out over science. Today, I am literally buzzing with excitement because we are diving into a bona fide superpower. We're talking about a vital nutrient that the human body actually manufactures all by itself, just by stepping outside into the sunlight. I mean, it's almost like we're part plant, which is kind of incredible, right? But as we're going to see, this brilliant sun-powered system of ours is running into some major glitches these days.
So think about the sheer irony of how we live today. We are essentially designed to be solar-powered beings. Yet what do we actually do? We spend our entire days tucked away inside, staring at screens, sitting under artificial lights, and just totally cutting ourselves off from the one giant glowing orb in the sky that our bodies are desperately craving. I mean, come on, I am literally a two-dimensional line drawing, and even I know I need to get out of the house more. We're hiding from our own power source. It's like this tragic comedy of modern life, and it's absolutely wreaking havoc on our internal chemistry.
Behold the sun. Seriously, I'm glowing just talking about it. Vitamin D is universally known as the sunshine vitamin for a very cool reason. When bare skin is exposed to sunlight, your body just automatically goes to work manufacturing it. Almost no other nutrient works like this. You don't have to eat it, you literally just stand there and let biology do its magic. And its main, absolute VIP job, helping your body absorb calcium. Without vitamin D, all that calcium you're eating for strong bones, it just passes right through you. It's the essential key that unlocks the door to your bone health.
Now, nature totally intended for us to be outside soaking up those golden rays, but our actual day-to-day lives are packed with roadblocks. Got cloud cover or thick city smog? Yeah, that blocks the UV rays you need. Slathering on heavy sunscreen? Well, that's obviously great for preventing burns, but it also completely shuts down your vitamin D production. And here's the real kicker. Windows. If you're sitting in a sunny office or driving in your car thinking, hey, I'm getting my daily dose of sunshine, think again. Sunlight passing through window glass does absolutely nothing to trigger vitamin D production in your skin. Zero. You are completely blocked. So I know what you're thinking. Well, Stickman, I'll just eat my way out of this deficiency. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, and I'm feeling just a tiny bit smug about this because the science is super clear, but that is incredibly hard to do. Very, very few foods naturally contain meaningful amounts of vitamin D. You'd basically have to live on a diet of fatty fish like salmon and tuna, knock back some fish liver oils, and eat small amounts of beef liver and egg yolks. Delicious for some, maybe a hard pass for others. That's exactly why most of the vitamin D we actually consume comes from fortified foods. We literally have to inject it into cow's milk and plant-based milks like soy, almond, and oat just to make sure we're getting enough. Interestingly, though, foods made from milk, think cheese and ice cream, usually aren't fortified. So no, eating a pint of ice cream is not a valid medical strategy. Because of this severe lack of sun and really limited food options, deficiency is one of the most common nutrient shortfalls worldwide. So who's actually at the highest risk? Well, definitely people who work indoors all day or live in cloudy northern climates, but also people with darker skin tones. You see, more melanin naturally acts like a shield, which reduces the skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight. Older adults are on the list too because as we age, our skin just becomes less efficient at this whole manufacturing process. Then you've got folks with fat malabsorption conditions, things like Crohn's, celiac, or ulcerative colitis, because vitamin D actually requires dietary fat to be absorbed properly. People with obesity or who've had gastric bypass surgery also generally need much higher intakes. Oh, and exclusively breastfed infants, because breast milk alone is naturally quite low in this specific vitamin. Now, I'm honestly physically wilting just thinking about this next part, so stick with me here. What happens if you run on empty for way too long? In children, severe deficiency leads to a really heartbreaking disease called rickets. It causes their growing bones to become soft, weak, deformed, and incredibly painful. In teenagers and adults, the condition is called osteomalacia. You get intense bone pain and muscle weakness. And over the long term, running short on vitamin D and calcium makes your bones brittle, fragile, and highly prone to fracturing. Trust me, you do not want your skeleton turning to chalk. But hey, let's flip that frown upside down. I'm practically flexing my little line drawing muscles right now just thinking about this. When you actually have enough vitamin D, the proven benefits are monumental. It works hand in hand with calcium to build and maintain incredibly strong bones, which is, hands down, our best defense against osteoporosis. But it isn't just a bone thing. Your muscles literally require vitamin D to move properly. Your nerves absolutely need it to fire signals efficiently between your brain and your body. And your immune system? It relies heavily on vitamin D to arm itself against invading bacteria and viruses. It is basically your body's invisible armor.
Okay, but let's be totally honest and scientifically rigorous for a second. There is a ton of hype out there, so we need to separate the proven superpowers from the things we're still kind of figuring out. We know for an absolute fact that it builds bones, powers muscles, and supports immunity. But what about all those other claims you read online? Well, some studies do link low vitamin D levels with a higher risk of depression. However, clinical trials have not actually proven that taking a supplement cures or prevents depression. The same goes for slowing down multiple sclerosis or improving blood sugar in people with diabetes. We see a correlation, sure, but popping a vitamin D pill hasn't been proven to fix the underlying problem in any of these cases. Science is still hard at work on this stuff, so don't let anyone oversell you on magic cures.
So, knowing all of this, how do we get practical? How much of this sunshine substitute do our bodies actually need to keep our engines running every single day without completely sputtering out? Here's the data breakdown, and the big takeaway for most of us is right in the middle. For children and the vast majority of adults, anywhere from 1 to 70 years old, including folks who are pregnant or breastfeeding, you're aiming for 600 international units a day, which is about 15 micrograms. Infants need just a little less, around 400 IU. But notice what happens when you cross that 70-year mark. Because the skin gets less efficient at making it, adults over 70 need to bump that daily goal up to 800 IU, or 20 micrograms.
All right, I'm actually sweating a little bit now because we have to talk about a really crucial safety warning. When you get your vitamin D from the sun, your skin has this brilliant built-in failsafe. It naturally limits how much is produced, so you literally cannot overdose on sunshine-made vitamin D. However, you absolutely can overdose on supplements. If you start treating those little pills like candy, you are going to run into serious trouble. And that trouble starts when you blow past this number, 4,000. For most adults, 4,000 international units a day is the absolute safe upper limit from everything combined: your food, your drinks, and your supplements. Unless a doctor is specifically treating you for a diagnosed deficiency with short-term, high-dose therapy, do not exceed this. Taking way too much causes toxic blood levels. We are talking nausea, vomiting, muscle weakness, confusion, dehydration, and incredibly painful kidney stones. In extreme cases, it can cause kidney failure or an irregular heartbeat. Also, a quick heads up, if you take steroid medications, they can lower your vitamin D levels. On the flip side, mixing vitamin D supplements with certain thiazide diuretics can cause your blood calcium levels to spike dangerously high, so please respect the chemistry.
So, what should you take away from this explainer? It's pretty simple. Safely catch some sun on your bare skin when you can. Eat those vitamin D-rich foods. Give a little nod of respect to the fatty fish and the fortified milks out there. And if your lifestyle, location, or health means you just aren't getting enough, absolutely consider a supplement. But please, talk to your doctor or pharmacist first, especially if you take other medications. Don't just guess your dosage. So, I'll leave you with this. Is your superpower currently lying dormant, or are you ready to step into the light? All right, that wraps up our deep dive into the sunshine superpower. I seriously need to go stand outside for a bit before I fade completely into a blank white page. Stay brilliant, everybody, and I'll catch you next time.